Peace. What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Give everybody a chance to tune in to your boy. Before we dive into this topic for the day, man, we got an important topic for the day. Very important topic for the day, man. Under the radar subject matter today, man. A lot of people don't touch on this particular subject matter, man, and I want to build on it briefly. And I'm gonna give it some more time on another stream, man. But I'm gonna definitely build on this heavy today for the brief time that I'm gonna have. And we gonna build, man. But I'm gonna give people a chance to tune in and tap in, man, before I dive into this topic for the day. D, peace, what's going on? Justin, what's going on? Jamani, peace, what's going on, man? How y'all living? And before I actually dive into the topic for the day, man, I want to just I want to do a quick build on kind of what's going on right now, man. The fear is being instilled in us once again. So where I'm at, we about to go into another lockdown. So they about to implement a lot of new restrictions once again. But I saw this coming. Andrew, Lachelle, peace, what's going on? They already talked about this briefly when the first lockdown happened. They told you that it would be a second wave. So again, when I tell you that they put the truth in plain sight, they did it to us once again and we overlooked it. They told us that it would be a second wave around this time. What happens around this time? They selected and put their person that they wanted into the office, and then we saw the COVID number spike. That was predictable because they told us that it would happen. And now people are running around in fear. And it's crazy because, again, they told you what was going to happen some months ago. Ataka Zulu, appreciate that. D Monty Magic, Eli Smooth, what's going on with y'all? So here we are again, right when they told you the second wave would come, and we running around scared once again. So this was predictable. They was going to get the person that they wanted in the White House, the selected person, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and all that good stuff, man. So they got him in there. The COVID number spike. They're going to utilize these mascots to convince everyone to go get this vaccine. And that vaccine going to cause more long-term damage than good, or it's going to do more long-term harm than good. And it's probably going to end or result in the death of a lot of black people that they will not report. So that's what's about to happen. Antoinette, peace, what's going on? I just wanted to build on that briefly. I wanted to let y'all know what's really about to happen, what's really going on out here. This second wave should have been predictable. You should have saw it coming, but apparently people wasn't paying attention. So now they're going to get their mascots, the fan favorites. We love Joe Biden. We love Kamala Harris. They're going to force people to get this vaccine because their mascots going to suggest it and convince people to do it. That vaccine going to result in the death of a lot of black people, and they're not going to report it. These black people, now everybody got COVID, but when people start to die because of the vaccination, then people are going to be dying of the flu, pneumonia, diabetes, strokes, and this, that, and the third. So all of a sudden, everybody getting sick with COVID. Then when the vaccine comes out, then they're going to be dying of something other than COVID or the vaccine because they're not going to want to attribute it to the vaccine. So that's what's going to happen. Mark my words, man. We about to see that happen. Y'all, D Monty Magic, most definitely. I just wanted to build on that. Now we about to dive into this topic for the day, man. And I want everybody to chime in. My brothers and my sisters, man. This is a real important topic. Man versus his emotions. Man versus his emotions. A lot of people, we tend to, Lindell, peace, what's going on? When it comes to man and his emotions, first of all, we got to define what emotions are. When you look at it on like a philosophical level, we like to say emotions are simply energy in motion. When you look at it metaphysically, we can say emotions are your feelings that are placed into motion. That's what emotions are. That's when your feelings are put into motion. Prime example, when someone dies, someone that you were close to, when they die, initially you will have a feeling. You may be sad, depressed, angry, frustrated, whatever the case may be, you're going to have an initial feeling. Then that feeling is going to lead to an action, whether you cry, whether you journal, whatever the case may be. That's the emotion. That's the emotion. When you put that feeling, when that feeling turns or translate into emotion. So that's all that emotion is. Feelings put into motion. Oh, D man, appreciate that. Oh, Ricky, appreciate it. Yeah, I tried to make that book simple and plain, man. I wanted to get straight to the point. A lot of these health books, man, they be wasting time breaking things down. So I'm like, a lot of people ain't got time for that. We need to get straight to the point. People need to know exactly what they need to be eating and doing. So that's why I made that book short, sweet, straight to the point. But yeah, but back to emotions. That's just your feelings put into motion. So a lot of times we like to place this negative stigma on being emotional, when really, like I said, that's just your feelings being put into motion. And Sean, you asked the question, what does it mean when you don't feel anything? Honestly, I feel like we all feel something to a degree. But sometimes we may not respond to things how people feel like we should respond to them. What do I mean by that? Because I've been labeled emotionless. A lot of people say I don't show emotion, but I don't show emotion in the way that people feel like I should show it. And that's what I mean too by this is an unacknowledged struggle. Because just because I'm not crying, just because I'm not overtly angry, just because I'm not walking around depressed and things like that don't necessarily mean that I'm suppressing my emotions. I may put my feelings into motion a different way. So a lot of people, they'll see, like when my grandmother passed, a lot of people thought that I should be crying and this, that, and the third, and they thought that I wasn't grieving. They thought that I was suppressing a lot of energy because I'm not crying. I'm like, man, crying is not the only way to show your emotions. Crying is not the only way to put your feelings into motion. It's not the only way. Eli Smooth, yeah, black pepper is definitely good for you. Oh, Antoinette, most definitely. I hope you take a lot of jewels away from that. Matter of fact, I know you will. I know you will, especially once you implement them. You'll be all good to roll. But yeah, Sean, I've been labeled as one to not be emotional, not show emotions and things of that nature. I just show things differently. And then another thing I want to talk about is man, the expectations that come with being a man. A lot of people don't understand the pressure that surrounds being a man, especially a black man. The pressure that's surrounding a black man, especially considering all that we have went through, all that our women have went through, all that our children have went through. See, we are responsible for all of that. It's a lot of pressure on us. It's a lot of pressure on the black man. And when I say that, a lot of people, they like to say, well, it's a lot of pressure on a black woman too. We not dismissing that. The black woman struggle, we acknowledge it. We embrace it. We know that it exists. It gets promoted. It gets talked about. It gets discussed. But the struggle and the pressure that comes along with being a black man under the radar, because when a black man starts to complain about his struggle, what is one thing that he's told? You better man up. So we can't be out here talking about our struggle, man. We got to get right to the grind. We got to get right to business. We don't have time to sit around and mope and be depressed about our situation and circumstance. Because if we do, we get viewed as less of a man. So it's a lot of pressure that comes with being a man, especially when you're striving to be a righteous man at that. It's a lot of pressure behind that. When you're striving to be a righteous man, when you're striving to do everything right and exact as a righteous black man, it's a lot of pressure behind that, man. It's a lot. It's the whole world, the whole entire universe is on your back at that point, because that black woman and that black child is dependent upon you. You cannot show many signs of weakness because you are the foundation. So if you weak, your foundation is weak. That's a lot of pressure, and that doesn't get discussed. That gets swept under the rug. Hence why you have a lot of black men that deal with mental health issues. Evan King, I cried when I was little, but I haven't cried since maybe like 15 or 16. And I'm fine with it, man. My favorite aunt, like one of my favorite aunts, she passed. Grandmother passed. Had a couple cousins that I was close to pass. Like some things have happened. Just not, I don't cry. Like that's just not a way that I will show my emotion. I'm not knocking the people that do it, but for me, that's just not a way that I show my emotion. And for the longest, a lot of people made me feel like something was wrong with me. But I had to realize that I cry in another way. Like I do other things. I may vibe out to some music, man, that reminds me of the time that I had with that person. Or I may draw, I may write some things, man. I may write a poem, or I just might write something in a journal, a little entry. That's my way of crying. But like as far as like actual tears, nah, I haven't done that. I haven't done that in a long time. But a lot of people tried to make it seem like that is something that's wrong with me. I'm suppressing a bunch of things, but really I'm not. So I had to get over that aspect, man. Feeling like it was something wrong with me. Like, why I'm not crying? I should be crying. Like, nah. I just cry in a different way. And once I accepted that, I was cool. I'll shine most definitely. That's why I had to counter it. That's why I had to say that. Because for the most part, it's like I have to tell black women all the time, man, we understand what's going on with y'all. We don't strive to dismiss what's going on with y'all. So when we have to single out ourselves and say black men going through this, black man is going through that, that's not to dismiss what y'all is going through. That's just to let y'all know that, man, we going through a lot as well. So sometimes we just got to make that, what we say, make knowledge born, man. We got to bring that to the surface to let you all know that, man, look, we struggling too. We feel some type of way too. We don't like to see the black women out here feeling some type of way as well. We don't like to see the black women going out here dealing with white men as well. Just like on the flip side, y'all don't like to see brothers dealing with, white women. We don't like to see it on the other end. So it's a lot of things that impact us on that mental or emotional level that a lot of people try to sweep under the rug. And when we come out and we talk about it, you get labeled soft and weak and things of that nature. I'm Nippin' and Goldie. What's going on with you? Max Ray, yeah, Stoicism, that's one of my favorite philosophies. I mean, I took it to heart even before I knew what it was. Like, that's pretty much how I was living. Savon, most definitely. And I'm like that. Like I said, man, I'm carrying my grandmother's casket. I'm carrying my aunt's casket. Like, these people who looked out for me when I went down south, when I went to Alabama, Mississippi. Man, I stayed at their crib. They raised me when I was there, and I'm carrying a casket, and I'm not crying at all. And people looking at you like, man, what's going on? What? She must not have been that close to you. Nah, man. Like, we got to stop. We got to stop doing that. We got to understand that everybody is different, man. Everybody expresses themselves on a different level. That's what we got to understand. But at the same time, as we talk about that, and I want to get some of y'all's opinions on it, man. I got my own opinion on it as well. I want to get the opinions from brothers and sisters if you want to chat too. Black men, as I've seen, y'all seen the meme. But let's say, where do you go to vent? Where do you feel like you can vent without being judged? Like, I want an honest opinion, black man. Do you feel like you can go to your black woman and vent? I'm talking about on an emotional level and feel like you're not being judged. Like, do you honestly feel like you can vent to that black woman? You can vent to that other black man without being judged. Do you feel like you can vent, black man, without being judged, without you feeling like somebody looking at you like you soft or you weak, whether it's consciously or subconsciously? I just want to get y'all responses on that. Do you feel like you can vent? And I'm talking about emotionally, just letting it all out and feel like you're not being judged. And this is exact. And see, this is right here. Like, y'all giving me, y'all giving me the responses that I pretty much figured. And a lot of people, a lot of women don't understand this. And sometimes what they don't understand, that it's not even really about them. Sometimes it's about how we was raised, like just the perception that we have of what a man should be. Like, we are conditioned in regards to how we feel like a man should be, like mentally and emotionally. So sometimes it don't even have anything to do with that woman. It's just this perception that we have as a man. So it's like, man, I can't run to her crying, man. I can't run to her being overly emotional. And that comes from the conditioning. And a lot of them don't understand that. A lot of them don't understand that. And then even just, it may be past experiences to where you probably vented to a woman, man, and she tore you down. She called you all types of soft and weak and things of that nature. And man, sometimes I'm gonna go out on another limb. Sometimes you may have even strived to vent to your own mother or like your grandmother, and she told you to man up, and she told you to toughen up. She told you to quit crying. I know y'all have been there, done that. I know y'all have been there, done that. Like, where is a safe place for us to go vent without feeling like we being judged? And the reason why I'm harping on black man is because, like I said, I'm going back to conditioning. See, a lot of people, they get emotional because I'm talking about conditioning. I'm not talking about what's right and wrong. I'm not talking about how things should be. I'm talking about the way that it is. So when I talk about being emotional, we already conditioned to associate being emotional with women. So when you talk about being emotional, whether you want to admit it as a fact or not, you already associate that word with feminine, with women, with female. That's how you associate that word. When you say emotional, overly emotional, things like that, automatically, because of the way we have been programmed, we associate that with something that's feminine, with something that's weak, with something that's soft. Now, again, I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm saying that that's how it is due to the way that we have been programmed and conditioned. So a lot of times when we think we're about to vent, when we think we're about to go on the deep end, we start viewing ourselves like on a subconscious level. We start viewing ourselves as weak and soft due to the conditioning and the programming. Yeah, Jamal, and again, I feel like again, you have some aspects to where you can vent to that woman, but it's like I said, a lot of people, we look on the surface, but you got to look beyond that surface. You got to look beyond that surface. Deep down, we've all been conditioned to view things a certain type of way, and one of the main associations is that, man, like, you're not supposed to be emotional, especially if you come from like an old school background. You're not supposed to be a certain type of way. You're not supposed to be a certain type of way. And that's where that judgment is coming from. So sometimes a woman won't even realize that she's doing that. And that's just coming out because of that programming and because of that conditioning. Montel, Peach, what's going on? So I've ran into this situation where I've chopped it up with a lot of brothers, man. A lot of brothers really feel like they don't have anybody to talk to, like vent to, and all of that, man. Just talk about what's really going on, what's really bothering them on that mental aspect, especially when you have like a family, because again, you got to be the strength in regards to that family, man. You got people that's dependent upon you, so you can't afford to be weak. And you can't afford to be weak, man. You cannot afford to be passive, man. You got to be the aggressor. You got to be the strength. You got to be the muscle. That's what you have to be. Max Ray, most definitely. We appreciate you tuning in and tapping in. So I just wanted to get everybody's responses on that because of, like I said, a lot of people dismiss the fact that black men really feel like they don't have anybody to vent to. Now, again, I'm not saying that that's a fact. I'm not saying that that's that's right to believe that, to see the world like that, but that's just how a lot of brothers feel. And a lot of times, again, feelings get swept under the rug. But a lot of brothers, man, I've come across a lot of brothers and they swear up and down, man, they don't have anybody to vent to. They can't vent to anybody without feeling like they being judged. So that's a serious problem. That's a serious problem. And a lot of times, just for me, like, talking to black sisters, like, it gets swept under the rug. It gets swept under the rug. A lot of sisters be like, oh, y'all can vent to us. We don't judge y'all. But I'm like, obviously, these dudes had this perception for a reason. They not just all making this up. They not just all congregating, coming together, saying we have nobody to vent to. It's some things that they experienced in life that led to that perception. And we got to get to that root cause. Why do brothers feel like they have no one to vent to? We got to get to that root cause. It's a common feeling amongst brothers. It's a common feeling amongst brothers. And we may even feel like that amongst one another just due to the fact of the conditioning and the programming. So we really gotta reprogram the mind. But in order to reprogram that mind, we gotta unlearn things we have been taught. Oh yeah, Iggy's raised me. Yeah, for the longest, man. I always talk to myself, man. I feel like if you don't talk to yourself, you strange. So a lot of people view it the other way around. If you're talking to yourself, you viewed as crazy and strange. I feel like if you don't talk to yourself, and I'm talking about having verbal conversations with yourself out loud. Like, I feel like if you don't do that, you crazy. Yeah, I'm nipping and Goldie, and a lot of people had those trust issues in regards to just revealing their secrets, man, exposing themselves, being vulnerable. A lot of people had those trust issues, especially in this day and age, because you have social media. You have social media, so it don't take nothing for somebody to put you on blast. And you know, everybody is striving to put people on blast in this social media age. So you really got to watch what you tell people nowadays. So you really got to watch what you tell people nowadays, man, because people waiting to put you on blast. And it's another thing, man. Like I'm not going outside of my immediate people, man. I'm not about to be telling people anything, man, because like I said, they can't wait to put you on blast. They can't wait to let the world know what you said. Oh, Montel, man, like I said, man, I be driving and I'm talking to myself. I mean, it is what it is. I'm driving. I'm having whole conversations to myself while I'm on the way to the gym, man. That gets me, that stabilizes me, man. That brings me peace. Like, I be having to ask myself some questions and I have to give myself the answer. I got to talk to myself because it's going to resonate when I talk to myself, man, when I say it out loud. So, man, you got to do that. That's part of how you manifest some things. Oh yeah, man, I'm talking about I'll be having some cold and deep conversations with myself, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It be getting real. I'll be on point, man. I'll be having some deep discussions with self. Oh, D, you already know what it is. I had a whole book on that energy. That's what it is, man. That's exactly what I call the book, energy, and that's what the G stood for and stands for. Marcus G, peace. What's going on? D Monty Magic. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that. James Brown, and one thing I'm gonna say, while I understand the whole aspect of not taking things personally, but I don't even see anything wrong with taking things personally. For real, to be honest with you, I don't see a problem with taking things personally. Matter of fact, taking things personally helps me out in life. When I take it personal, I apply it to self. So that helps me out. So I don't have a problem with taking things personally because and people misunderstand what I mean by that. When I say I take things personally, that don't mean that I'm gonna overreact because you said something and I took it personally. No, when I take something personally, that means you telling me something and I'm going to apply what you're telling me to self. That's the only way that it will resonate with me. That's the only way that I will be able to make change. Like, if you coming to me from a place of help, then the only way that I'm gonna be able to make a change is if I take it personally. So constructive criticism, they tell you don't take it personally. Nah, I take that constructive criticism personally, and that helps me because then I'm able to look at it differently. What do I mean by that? It's almost like a parent. Like when I played sports back in the day, see, now I'm not able to look at it. I'm not able to look at it in this light, but I can use this as an example. So it's like when you get that constructive criticism and you able to step back and take it personally, apply it to yourself. When you apply it to yourself, you would say, okay, what if I was an adult talking to my child? Then you able, like I said, you placing yourself in the shoes of everybody that's involved, the other person that's talking to you or the other people that's talking to you. And that's enabling you to see it from all different angles. And that's only going to help you out. So take it personal don't necessarily mean you got to take it as an attack. That just means you taking what they saying and you applying it to yourself. How can this be useful? What if I was in this person's shoes? How would I talk to myself? Well, taking everything personal is a benefit to me. That helps you evolve and that helps you grow. Because if you don't take it personal, then it really don't matter. Like whatever they saying is irrelevant. If I can't take it and apply it to myself, then I don't really care to hear it. So I should be able to take everything that you're telling me and apply it to this personal self, apply it to myself, and utilize that in order to grow or maybe destroy something. First, sometimes you got to destroy in order to build and grow and evolve. See, Max Array, even even if it's we already know, even if it's an attack, I'm gonna tell you this again. It's all perspective at the end of the day. Even if it's attack, when I look at it personally and I look at it personally and I take it personal, like this person is legit coming at my life because I've done this. Like the way that I eat, right? People just joke about the way that I eat. So instead, like the way the wrong way to respond to that is to just get all in my feelings without thinking about it. Man, they just hate and whoop wham. When I took it personal, I said, all right, I'm striving to change. I'm striving to better myself. This person is attacking me because they lack the discipline. So I took that personal. I took that attack. I applied it to myself. Why is this person attacking me? Because I'm striving to make changes in my life for the betterment of myself. So why would this person be attacking me? That's me taking it personal, applying it to myself. Then I was able to realize that the reason why they're attacking me is because they lack the discipline to do what it is that I'm doing. That's why they are attacking me. So now I'm cool. So now I'm going to know not to deal with that person. So that's how I view taking things personally, even when it's an attack. Again, I'm applying everything to self on a deeper level because there's always a deeper reasoning. And the only way to get to that deeper reasoning is, again, to take it personal. It's a reason why that person is attacking you. It's a reason why that person is making a joke, a mockery of your lifestyle. It's a reason why they're doing that. And I got to dig deep within myself to unearth that reason. Oh, Thunder Scorpion, most definitely. That's most definitely what I mean. Again, we got this way that we view taking things personally. And I'm here to change that perspective. That's not necessarily something that's negative in my eyes. That's just, like I said, that's just me looking at the deeper meaning of what's really going on. So on the surface, when you look at it on the surface level, like I said, then it's just an attack. That's on the surface though. Oh man, they just attacking me. Then you get mad. You just react. But when you take it personally, you say, man, they attacking me, but why? That's when you start taking things personally, when you ask why. When you just get mad at the attack, like you pretty much, you just reacting. You just reacting. It's like you acting on impulse. So you didn't even really take it personal at that point. You take it personal when you start asking yourself, why, man? Why is this person attacking me? Why are they making a mockery of my lifestyle? Why? Then when you dig deep enough, you're gonna always find the underlying reason. And a lot of times, man, it's not even that complicated. It's not that complicated. Yeah, Eli Smooth, that's exactly what they do. That's exactly what they do. And matter of fact, I'm gonna even go a step further. I'm gonna even go a step further. As Nas said, that hatred can be confused admiration. So they really admiring you. So even beyond that hatred, it's admiration. So they admire what you do, but they envious because you have the discipline. So then therefore they gonna joke on you, and we view it as hatred, but that's really actually admiration. They wish that they could do what you're doing. They wish that they could be you. They wish that they could make the changes that you are making. But like I said, they lack the discipline and the strength. So I'm gonna go. It's deeper than hatred. That's actually admiration. It's like white people and black people. Them white people, yeah, we say that they hate us, but they really want to be us. They really want to be like us. So it's deeper than hatred. The white people want to be us. So it's deeper than they hate us. They hate us because they want to be us. So that admiration is at the core. NFL Malik, peace. What's going on? Oh, Jamar, we already know, man. We didn't already built on the role the media plays in regards to the black image. We got to control our own media. We cannot let the mainstream media dictate how we view one another, because we know that they're gonna paint a negative image or a negative picture of us. So that's why I don't even fool with a lot of mainstream media. Like we already know how that go. We already know that when we gonna make the news, what has to happen. Like all the positive stuff a rapper done did, man. All the positive contributions that he makes, he only tends to make the news when he gets shot, or when he does something controversial. That's when the rapper makes the news. But the rapper can donate to all type of charities, whatever the case may be, man. Can give backpacks to the kids, can do this, that, and the third. But the only time that rapper gonna make the news is when they say something controversial about certain communities, and we know the communities that we talking about here, or when they get shot. That's the only time they make the mainstream news. But these rappers are doing a bunch of positive things, but you don't hear nothing about that. You don't hear nothing about that. The mainstream news won't let you know the positives that they are doing. They let you know when they get shot or when they say something controversial. That's it. Yeah, vaccine epidemic. That's a cold book. I got that joint in here. That's a cold book. Yeah, Jamar. Like I said, that's why I said, man, we gotta stop fooling with the mainstream media. And it's easy to do it. It's easier to do it in 2020 than it was back in the day. We can easily control our media now, so that should not be a problem. We definitely need to control what we consume, and that helps on that emotional level as well. Because I can tell you, as a young black man, just growing up, like how that stuff affected me subconsciously, and how that impacted me as an adult emotionally. Just seeing them negative images of brothers that look just like me, to the point where I kind of accepted that reality for myself. I accepted that criminal reality for myself. I said, man, the only way that we gonna make it is if we play balls, if we rap, or we gonna end up here or dead. We gonna end up locked up or dead. Like I started to accept that about myself subconsciously, because that's all that I saw. That's all that I saw when I looked at the mainstream media, man. So that affected me, like mentally, just growing up as a black man, as a young black man. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people do not understand that. I mean, man, you gotta do the knowledge to it out here, especially when I started to go in corporate America. You don't see a lot of black men in powerful positions. You just don't. When I was at the bank, a lot of people used to come into this bank and they used to be shocked and surprised to see a young black man working in a bank. You're gonna see black women, you're gonna see white women, you're gonna see white men. But when it comes to that corporate level, corporate America, you do not see a lot of black men in powerful positions. So when you look around, you don't see a lot of people that look like you, man, in certain positions. And that's kind of hard. That affects the psyche. And I acknowledge that like that. I was wondering, I'm like, man, why everybody keep coming into this bank talking about they proud to see a young black man in the bank? Like, well, I'm like, what's going on out here, man? Do we not have these type of jobs? And then when I did the knowledge to it, we don't. I was a rare breed. So we and that's the type of stuff that you see as an adult. Like we only Like you don't see a lot of examples of us, man, in certain positions. A lot of us. I'm not talking about the token black. I'm talking about a lot of us in certain positions doing certain things. Marlon Joseph, listen. My view on the motherland, the universe is our motherland. So we don't have to go nowhere. The United States of America is our motherland as well. Everywhere we go is our motherland, so we don't have to go nowhere. This place is rightfully ours. Listen, it's more ours than it's theirs. So we got every right to this land as they do. So we don't have to go nowhere. We don't have to go nowhere. All we got to do is come together and we got to fight for what's ours on this particular continent, man, because this is ours just as much as it's theirs, if not more. So we ain't got to get back to a motherland. We already at the motherland, man. Everywhere you go, that's your motherland. As an original man, as an original woman. So we gotta fight to claim what's rightfully ours here, because it's rightfully ours. They wouldn't have no United States of America without us. Point blank, period. So this is our motherland as well. Everywhere we go is our motherland. Everywhere we step, that's our motherland. Everywhere we step, that's our land. We gotta start claiming it though. Yeah, Montel, and then people don't understand that before everything separated, it was all one. When it was all one, who populated that particular landmass? It was us. So I don't have to go back I don't have to go back to anywhere. Like this, where I'm at is home. This ain't their home as well. So where they got to go back to the caves. So man, this universe is ours, man. They the ones that came from somewhere that they need to go back to, the caves. That's them. They don't own the rights to this particular land, not at all. So I'm not giving white people all that credit and all that power. I'm not doing it. I never do that. I never have a white person making me feel like I got to go back to somewhere. Point blank, period. I don't let white people instill that's fear, man. Back to the motherland. I'm not going back to Africa until they go back to the caves. So if they're not willing to go back to the caves, I ain't going back to no Africa. No, I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it. So now y'all about to get me venting into y'all about to get me off into a whole nother vent, because I don't go for that. Because again, why are we the only people that feel like we got to go back somewhere? Like, that's crazy. Like, we the people that feel like we got to go back somewhere as if they was always here. Nah, man, they came from somewhere. Let's talk about where they came from, and let's talk about getting them back to where they came from. Nah, Marlon, I got to disagree respectfully. That's fear, because like I said, they was in the caves. They was in the cave. So you use the word back. I can see if you said just go to Africa and form something with them. But we don't need to go back nowhere until they go back to where they came from. Like, they need to go back to where they came from. Go back to the caves, man. Those are the devils, man. And we ran across the sand, man. They came from them caves. But we gonna get it together though. We gonna get it together. Because at the end of the day, we already know what it is. They like to falsely label us the minority and things of that nature. We know why they doing that. But at the end of the day, we gonna get it together though, because like I said, that's the fear that they have. They have this fear. They have a fear. They feel like they are about to be wiped out. Hence why they keep trying to depopulate the planet. So they have this fear. For one, because too many of their people striving to mix with us, and they know what happens when they continue to mix with us. We wipe them out. What Francis Cress Welsing talked about, that genetic annihilation. See, they worried about that. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't got to worry about that. Marlon, it ain't nothing about being a coward. What I'm talking about is, again, this land is rightfully ours. And I don't even feel like that. I'm not speaking for my ancestors, man. I'm not them. It's a whole, again, we can't, like, I'm not speaking for my ancestors. I'm speaking for self. We deserve, not even deserve. This is rightfully ours, where we are at right now. So it ain't about going against their wishes and all that type of stuff, man. I'm not acting like I'm speaking for my ancestors. I'm not acting like I'm going against their wishes. What I'm talking about, what we got now. Realistically speaking, we're not about to come together and go back to Africa. That's not about to happen. So we gotta deal with it where we are at. Realistically speaking, we know that we're not all about to come together and go back to Africa. Realistically speaking, that's not gonna happen. Just like Ice Cube said, we worried about Africa and we got enough problems here in America. We got too many problems here and we're not going nowhere anytime soon in regards to here. And this land is just as much ours as it is there. So it's not about calling you a coward. What I'm saying is we don't have to go back anywhere. We don't have to even view it like that, because realistically speaking, it ain't gonna go down like that, man. We here and we gonna be here. We are in America right now, and this is where we're going to be, realistically speaking, because they have created a divide amongst us and the Africans. And we know that divide was created by them, but they didn't create it. So it's a lot of conflict amongst Black people in America and Africans. So it's a lot of friction there because they have created that. So we got the divide and conquer going on there. So realistically speaking, we got to deal with our brothers and sisters here, and we got to come together and we got to claim what's rightfully ours here in the United States, because this is ours. We built this country as well. So we got to come together and we got to claim what's rightfully ours here. We can't focus on Africa because we're not there right now. I'm not talking about going against anything the ancestors said. I'm not my ancestors. I study my ancestors vigorously, and I know that they wouldn't want me to be feeling like I got to go back somewhere and not fighting for what's rightfully mine here. So that's another thing they wouldn't want, man. My ancestors, they going to fight to the death wherever they at. They gonna fight for the death wherever they at, man. This land is just as much ours as it is theirs. Point blank, period. And that's all I'm saying. So we ain't got to go back nowhere. And you got to look at it from a reality standpoint. It ain't happening. But what can happen is us coming together here, because they gonna try their stuff here. They're not gonna wait for all of us to go back to Africa and then try to wipe us out. They striving to wipe us out here. So we got to deal with that problem here. So before we can get everybody to go back to Africa, we got to get everybody to unite here and combat the common enemy here. So why would I overlook that and think I can get everybody to go back to Africa when we can't even unite here? So that's just an unrealistic viewpoint. I'm not even about to entertain it, because like I said, man, we ain't even coming together to fight the common enemy here. So I'm definitely not about to entertain thinking we finna all come back and go back to Africa. It ain't happening. It ain't happening until enough of us realize we got a common enemy here. And the time that we realize that, then we going to start to build here. Yeah, D Monty Magic, the white man, he's not from here at all. Not from here at all. Not from here at all. And that's why that type of stuff, like I don't a lot of people think I view white people in a certain type of way, man. But one thing, like I'm not too fond of the white man and his history. I'm not too fond of the white man and his history, like at all. And I'm just not too fond of the tactics that the white man has utilized, man, to have us go against one another. And a lot of the things that we disagree about and we fight over is his creation, the unseen hand. Like, just think about it, man. Just think about that division. We're gonna take them from it and then make them feel like they gotta go back. Then you're gonna have that. That's a division, man. That's division. That's division. We here now. What we gonna do? I'll tell you, Ashley, I already know. My passion is something that always gets mentioned, especially when it comes to certain subject matter. But anytime we about to talk about the white and black situation, that passion I'm gonna let loose every time. Oh, Eli Smooth, like I said, you know where we come from the 5% background. So we call them, that's grafted. So you use the term artificial, we call them grafted. And that's coming from the black and brown seed. We tell you about selective breeding. So then you go down the color spectrum and see how you get white from black. So we call it grafted. We call it being grafted. So when you study the story of Yakub, like that's when you're going to come across selective breeding, eugenics and things of that nature. And you're going to come across why we call them grafted. And it's just a lot of biological differences between us. Marlon, you telling the brother to read, and you made an assumption that he don't read. My brother is reading. He asking you where you getting your information from. Like, I'll pull up a book and let people know where I'm getting my information from, man. Just let the brother know where you get the information from. We all readers on here, man, but just because you read something that somebody else didn't read don't mean that they not a reader. So, man, just disclose the source so he can read the same thing you read. Just as if I got something out of a book, I'm gonna give y'all the book title so you can read the exact book that I read, and then you can cross-reference and check their sources as well. I'm not about to tell you just to read. If I'm close to my book, which again, I forgot to post the book of the day. Let me post that. This is by Dr. Ben, man, one of the GOATs, the Black man of the Nile, and his family. It's Dr. Ben, man. Dr. Ben. I know y'all familiar with Dr. Ben, man, but this is a crucial book. Black man of the Nile and his family. Tay Ashley, you know what's crazy? That the true historians, the true white historians, they know their history. And I'm gonna give you an example. I got the book, but I don't have it next to me. So I'm gonna give you an example. And it's crazy that you mentioned that, because I was just watching a Khalid Muhammad interview and he mentioned this book. But the reason why I know that they know their history, because a white man wrote it in the book. And that book is called Iceman Inheritance: Prehistoric Sources of Western Man's Racism, Sexism, and Aggression. This is written by Michael Ress. This is written by a European, a white man. I'm gonna repeat that book again. Y'all may be familiar with that book. But Iceman Inheritance: Prehistoric Sources of Western Man's Racism, Sexism, and Aggression. So this is a white man giving you the wicked history of the white man himself. And there's other books like this, but this is the main one. This is probably the most popular one. But this is a book right now. This is a book right here where the white man admits how wicked his history is and was, and how wicked his people is and was, written by a white man himself. That's why when a lot of people get mad at me for some of the stuff I say about white folks, I point that book out. I said, man, you can argue with him. He looks like you, and he wrote this about you. So when you hear from me, you probably just gonna think, oh, I'm racist, which we didn't already have some of our ancestors and our elders let you know that we cannot be racist. They didn't let you know that. But when people start talking to me about that, I just quote that book, and I got plenty of them. But I say, okay, here goes a white person that's letting you know about yourself as well, letting you know about your people's history as well. Do the knowledge to that book, then argue with that person. So now it can be white on white, as they like to say, black on black. Oh yeah, Jamar, it's all when it comes to, and that's why I don't like the term black on black crime. Like, it's all proximity. If that's all that I live by, of course, then that's who I'm gonna be. That's gonna be the first one that I kill. That's gonna be the first one that I rob, because that's all that I'm around. If I was in a neighborhood filled with white people, when it's a neighborhood filled with white people, when there's crime, that white person gonna kill that white person because that's what they close to. That white person gonna steal from that white person because that's what they close to. That's who they close to. It's an Asian community. The Asian gonna rob the Asian gonna kill the Asian because of proximity. That's just what it is. But they like to highlight it when it's in the black community. Look at the black on black crime. And you know I hate it when they say, oh, y'all talk about Black Lives Matter until it comes to black on black crime when y'all killing one another. Can't stand that. Can't stand it. Because that just like that defeat. Now, I'm not one to go hoop and holler and say Black Lives Matter. I'm not with that game. What I'm saying is I just don't like when people point out what about when y'all kill each other? Y'all don't be as mad when y'all kill each other. I don't know what world y'all live in. But man, when these dudes are recklessly killing each other, matter of fact, these rappers, like the rappers that just, I mean, everybody getting shot. Boosie just got shot. Benny the Butcher just got shot. Mo 3 got killed. King Von got killed. Man, black people was upset. Like, man, we got to stop doing this. We gotta, like, we was upset. Black people get upset. But again, it's proximity. So we hear about this stuff every day. We hear about this stuff every day. So when it happens, when the opposite happens, when a white person kills, you don't hear about that every day. So when it happens, yeah, we're gonna be a little more riled up. We're gonna be a little more riled up when somebody from the outside comes in and kills one of us. That's natural. That's normal. Duh. So I don't understand. I don't understand what people be on. Because it's like I'm not saying it's right to be numb to it, but that's what happens. That's what happens. It's when somebody from the outside in. D is two books I mentioned. So Black Man of the Nile is the book that I showed. And then the Iceman Inheritance by Michael Bradley is the book that I mentioned verbally, which I got that book on me, but I don't have it near me. And I don't want to get up and leave during this live. But that Iceman Inheritance, that's a white man going in on white people. Because the other book, some of the other books that I have let you know the truth about white people are written by Black people. So no, they're gonna say that's bias. Woo woo woo. Even though they have tried to write our history plenty of times, but they won't say that that's bias. But when you have a Black man that's coming out here writing about white people, they call them racist, they call them biased, all of that. But these white people have been writing about us for how long? And they don't label their scholars as biased or racist and things like that. And they've been incorrectly writing our history or rewriting our history for the longest. But when a Black person comes out, because Elijah Muhammad got plenty of books, when he comes out and lets you know about the white man, then he's racist. He's a bigot. He's all of this type of stuff. That's how they do it. But they done had scientists over the years try to justify us being inferior beings. But nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion, and we know who they are sworn in to protect and serve, and it's definitely not us. It's not us or our interests at all. D Monty Magic, I got about 600 to 700 books on me now. About 600 to 700. Oh yeah, D Monty, they don't want to talk about that white on right crime. They don't want to talk about that. Oh, Jamar, when it comes to unifying, the first thing we got to do, the first thing we got to do when it comes to unifying, we got to first realize that we have a common enemy. That's the first step. So that's why I love all my elders and my ancestors that let you know about these white folks, because they letting you know about the common enemy. We gotta keep teaching these brothers. We gotta keep teaching these sisters, whether we feel like it's pointless or not. We gotta keep pointing out that truth. We can't let up. We gotta keep exposing these people in this system every chance that we get, because we gotta get people to realize that we have a common enemy, and that common enemy is not you or me. That common enemy has an unseen hand. So we gotta get them to realize that. And we briefly realize it when something happens, like when the cops kill us and things like that. So we briefly realize that we had a common enemy. Subconsciously, we know that it's there, but they got us so conditioned, man, that we, of course, got the Stockholm syndrome and things of that nature, man. So we got to work on just reprogramming our people. So the people that know the truth got to continue to speak that truth, whether or not they like it or not. Like we can't worry about that. We can't live in fear, because they gonna make threats toward you. When you talking the truth about them, they gonna threaten you, point blank, period. So you gonna get the threats. You gonna get the threats. So we can't live in fear. What Malcolm X said, he was living like he was already dead. That's how you gotta live, man. When you standing on this truth and you gonna speak that truth, but you gotta speak it. You can't conceal it. Yeah, them cops, they got a Nazi foundation, KKK foundation. So we already know the foundation of like the cops, man. We already know that. We already know that. It's a deeper reason why we don't trust them. Like we already know that. We know that foundation. Oh, Magic Rims, man. A lot of people. A lot of people have been lied to. Even some of the white history. A lot of the white history. A lot of the white history, man, is fabricated. Man, when they start talking about George Washington and all them early presidents, they don't mention how they were slave owners and how they was racist and things of that nature. Man, they leave out a lot. They leave out a lot. They leave out a lot when it comes to their own history, because again, if they put the truth in there, then black people really realize the true power that we have. We really realize the true power that we have. They put the truth in all forms out there. But we know why they don't do that though, man. We know exactly why they don't do that. We know exactly why they don't do that. So we already know what's up. And then, man, don't even get me started on how they do Abraham Lincoln, boy. How they make Abraham Lincoln appear to be for black people. That dude didn't care nothing about black people. Yeah, I'm nipping and Goldie with the mindset. And Jamar asking, how do we do that? It's repetition. It's repetition, and then we gotta start with the kids, man. We gotta, when you a black like myself, man, we gotta mentor the younger black crowd. Shoot, if you already young, then you gotta find people that's younger than you. Like, we gotta touch them young. We gotta mentor the youth. We gotta let the youth know the truth. We gotta let the youth know the truth. We definitely gotta reach the youth. We gotta reach the youth, man. So that means we gotta keep putting that truth out here, and we gotta keep promoting that truth. So when you hear that truth, man, you got to listen to that consciousness, man, that music. Then you got to put younger folks on that music, man. You got to let them hear that. You got to let them see that. You got to let them read that, man. You got to put them books in their hands and things of that nature, man. I'm always suggesting books to my brothers. So when a young bull come to me, man, I'll be like, hey, man, read this, read that, read this, read that. I'm putting them on game to the truth. And I'm going to it's some unpopular truths that I'm going to put them on game to. Oh yeah, Jamar, we already know. We already know. And this is one reason why I realized that we still got a long way to go, because of this recent selection and how everybody responded to it. I said, man, we still got a long way to go, because my goodness, everybody's still buying into this nonsense. So we got a long way to go. So we really got to educate people when it comes to politics, and we got to continue to give them that history, because it's like y'all still trusting this system. That, man, we really gotta, a lot of people gotta unlearn, but we really gotta hit the youth though. Oh, James Brown, handling anger is simple. I mean, you gotta find what you are like interested in, what'll work for you. So like when it comes to frustration, man, I two things that work for me: journaling and then like exercising. That's the way I channel my energy. That's the way that I channel my energy when it comes to like anger, frustration. So you just gotta find an outlet that'll be useful for you, and all those outlets can be different. So like I said, I'm working out and I'm writing. That's the way I can handle anger. That's the way I can handle frustration. Yeah, D Monty Magic, and that's another thing, man. We gotta, like, that conscious me. People sleep on the impact of music, man. And music has an influence on how you act and how you think. And a lot of us don't want to admit that reality, but it is what it is. So much we really got to push that conscious music, that militant music a lot more. Heck, I almost wish I still rap, man, because I started to go hard on it. But we definitely got to push more of that music, man. Like I said, just even with the female crowd, man, it's a lot of conscious female MCs, but you wouldn't know it if you looked at it on a mainstream level. You wouldn't know that was out here. So we gotta push that music a lot more, man. We gotta push that consciousness a lot more. We gotta get that to the surface a lot more. So we really gotta start standing on our square in regards to consciousness, man. That black consciousness. We gotta get back on that. When they was walking around talking about black power, like, we gotta get back to that. That's the type of unity that we gonna need. Rob, no doubt. Yeah, meditation is definitely peace. Like I said, when I'm working out, that's my meditation. That's my, like when I'm in the gym, boy, that's it. I'm meditating, man. When I'm working out, when I'm lifting a weight, I'm meditating. Yeah, the Gullah Wars. Yeah, Justin, and that's crucial. But again, one thing we also got to stop doing, we got to stop expecting them to teach us the truth, to teach our kids the truth, because we know they not. That ain't their job. Their job is not to teach us the truth about our history, about our story. That's not their job. That never was their job, and it never will be. They will never teach us the truth. They will never teach our kids the truth. Not their job, not their responsibility. They won't do it. So we got to stop relying on them to do that. That's our job. That's our job. We got to teach our children the truth. We got to teach ourselves the truth. That's now our job. Rome is a beast, man. Peace. That's most definitely peace. Eli Smooth, man. The way that I do it, man, I put on I got this voice recorder, man, and I just repeat like an affirmation. And I'll put it on like I'll play it through like some loudspeakers or maybe some headphones, man. And I just zone out. I just zone out for like 10, 15 minutes. And it's like you pretty much always end up falling asleep. Yeah, D Monty Magic. That's another thing too. That's another reason why when a lot of people bring up things that my ancestors did, and it's like, nah, I get it, respect. But we not supposed to live exactly how they live. We not supposed to move exactly how they move. Like, nah, we in a whole different era. So while I respect what my ancestors did back in the day, like we not necessarily supposed to be living like they living. We not supposed to be moving how they moving. They was in a whole different era than we were. Oh, Marlon, no doubt. And it's all respect this way. Like I said, it's all respect this way. At the end of the day, when it's time to fight, when it's time to go to war, I'm gonna have your back just like I would hope you have mine. And let me remind you also, I'm not opposed to going back to Africa. I would love to go back to Africa and live there and do that. But right now, like I said, I got a lot of problems that we got to deal with here. But I'm not opposed to Africa, man. I chop it up with a lot of Africans when I worked at the bank. That kind of got rid of that myth when a lot of people say a lot of the Africans don't like us, woo, wah, wham. I'd have had a bunch of good conversations with some of these Africans. And one of them told me flat out, he said, if I go back to Nigeria or if I go to Nigeria, I'll be treated like a king. That's what dude told. So nah, I'm not opposed to that at all. Like if we could come together collectively and realize that and go back there and then we could unite with them that's already there and take them out, I'm all for it. So it's all good. Like you said, it's a difference of like tactics. So it's all good at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we're gonna come together when we need to. We're gonna come together when we need to. I'm not gonna listen, when it's time to go to war, I'm gonna let y'all know right now I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Oh, Thunder Scorpion. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion. Woo! Yeah, some of the man. Oh man. Yeah, you ain't never lied about some of them being more brainwashed. Oh man, boy, you just touched on something that is so deep. But a lot of people, because I watch documentaries and things like that, and a lot of people be asking me why these Africans over there praying to white Jesus and woo woo woo. I'm like, man, y'all don't realize that, man, Africa is colonized. A lot of parts of Africa are colonized just like we are, and sometimes it's worse. So they got they grip on a lot of African countries as well, and a lot of them cats are white Jesus down. I mean, they more into white Jesus than our people here in some African countries. Like they into it. Like some of them countries are bad when it comes to like that white man and his religion. But they did that though. That's colonization, and it ain't just here. People don't understand that we not just colonized here. They colonized over there too. And there are a lot of places outside of Africa that have been colonized by them as well. So it ain't just Africa, it ain't just here. It's a lot of other places where they are colonizing. And it's terrible. It's hard to see. Yeah, D Monty Magic. Yeah, like I said, that the ancestor move. Yeah, man. Cause and then even go back to the way that we eat and things like that, man. I say, listen, I'm like, listen, man, that's a whole different era, man. We evolving. So a lot of people be like, oh, because this is the argument that I get about going vegan. Oh man, y'all, the African, they ate meat, our ancestors ate meat. I said good for them. I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with the reason why I'm eating the way that I'm eating. I'm not striving to eat like my ancestors. I'm striving to eat in a better way that they did. So when people bring that argument to me, I'm like, okay, your point is, I don't care who ate meat back in the day. I don't care who didn't eat meat back in the day. I'm not eating it now. And I'm doing that for a reason. So when people come to me with that argument, I'm just like, what point are you striving to prove? That, oh, just because they did this back in the day, that means I'm supposed to do it. No, like that doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, we didn't have any Africans calling themselves vegan and this, that, and the third. That's cool. That's cool. And it may have worked for them back then, but I'm not striving to be like them. Beautiful Goddess Keys, what's going on? And South Africa is all bad. We talking about apartheid and things of that nature. All bad. All bad, man. You just made me think about some books that I got about Patrice Lumumba and Steve Biko. I don't know if y'all read them stories or know the history behind them and what happened. Boy, those are some underrated ancestors that we had, Patrice Lumumba and Steve Biko. Man, it's a movie out. I think it's a movie out on both of them. But man, the way they did my boy Steve Biko, that stuff crazy. Terenzo Peace, what's going on? I just want to shout. I like the way that y'all greet the queens when they come into the chat, man. That's all peace and respect. I just wanted to acknowledge that real quick. I wanted to acknowledge the respect that y'all show the black women when they come into this chat, man. That's all peace. I love that. Oh, Jamar, say you already know. You already know. You already know about being black sheep. Y'all see that black by popular demand type deal, man. I wear this stuff when I go into the whitest of the whitest areas. Man, I got Nat Turner shirts, man. I wear them intentionally when we go certain places. Put my hair in a ponytail just so you can see the shirt, just so you can see this Nat Turner. Like I'm ignorant with it. I'm ignorant with it. I mean, I'll let you know what I'm standing for, what I'm standing on. Like I said, hence probably why I didn't make it to certain levels in corporate America that I probably should have. Because I didn't care, man. Unapologetically. That was a tongue twister. But yeah, y'all get what I'm saying. Oh yeah, Beautiful Goddess Keys, man. I done ran into a bunch of. I think the one that I knew. Well, one of the ones that I knew that was from Ghana. Like again, yeah, like you said, you would not have noticed or knew that dude was even black at all. Like if you didn't just know dude. Oh, Herx, man, when it comes to books, man, a lot of people ask me the same question because they don't know where to start in regards to just like research. I start off with like, well, it was easy when I first started, man, because I dealt with what resonated with me, what I was interested in. So I just read some autobiographies. So I just read about Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. And then from that, you about to just start coming across stuff because they going to mention work. They going to mention books and stuff within their books. And from that point on, then it's just like, it's a domino effect. So each book you're going to read, they're going to recommend things that you should read. They're going to recommend people that you should study. And that's where it started for me. Malcolm X talked about Elijah Muhammad, the message to the black man. So not too long after that, I came across Elijah Muhammad and message to the black man. Then when I read message to the black man, I came across How to Eat to Live parts 1 and 2. So it was a trickle down effect. Once I started reading about my people, man, they was putting me on game in regards to other people that I need to be studying. So that's how I go about that, man. So now when I read a book, I just check the bibliography and I see the books that they recommend or the books that they study. I get those books. And that's it. I go from there. But I know I got the main core in regards to the ancestors. And I started off studying them. Marcus Garvey, Huey Newton, Malcolm X. And then I got into Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark, Amos Wilson. So once you start with that solid foundation, they gonna throw you in a bunch of different directions. And all you got to do is just study what they study. And then I got, a few Professor Griff joints. And he pointed me in a bunch of different ways in regards to just uncovering the wickedness that goes on with like mainstream media and politics. So he recommended a lot. So it was like that. That's how I pretty much started. That's how I go about finding my books. So it's real simple. So you start with that basic foundation, man. You start with the most known people, and then they're going to point you in directions. Lindell, you already know that X-Clan. That's what we protected by. So we all we got at the end of the day. We all we got. And I acknowledge that, man. So I ain't, at the end of the day, we all we got. I'm not looking for this. I'm not looking for no white man to change my condition. I'm not looking for no white woman to change my condition. Wouldn't want them changing my condition. Oh, D Monty Magic. It's crazy. I got two books on Selassie. I think they both like biographies. And another association that's kind of interesting with Selassie too is the Rastafarians. The Rastafarians and how they view Haile Selassie too, some of them, is also interesting as well. But that bill can go a whole lot of different ways in regards to Ethiopia and Selassie. And the way Selassie is viewed, Selassie is like the Messiah, if y'all don't know. Selassie is like considered, I would say the Messiah, man. He's like Jesus in some cultures. The way people view Jesus, the way people view Buddha. That's what Selassie is in regards to some cultures. But I came across it when I studied. I had a book on the Rastafarians, and they started talking crazy about Selassie. I'm like, hold on. Now I knew of Selassie, I knew the name, but I hadn't studied the person. So that's when I got them biographies on. So I was like, oh, okay. So I started doing the knowledge to Selassie. But I got a few biographies, man. That next video, I may bring those joints out and that Rastafarian book that I got, just so y'all can read what I read. Oh, Shane, peace. What's going on? But yeah, every time, like I said, man, every time. Yeah, Jamar, right. Everybody think I'm a Rasta just when they start seeing my hair and things of that nature. So that's kind of crazy. Everybody think that I'm a Rasta. Everybody think that I smoke an immense amount of weed, an enormous amount of weed. They think I just smoke, and they think that I'm a Rasta. Yeah, O'Shane. So yeah, I was right then. He viewed as the Messiah. Yep. Yeah, that's what I was reading. And I had, like I said, I never knew that. Like I knew of Selassie, I just heard the name, but I didn't know his history. So when I read that Rastafari book, and they started viewing him as the South, I said, man, hold on, who is dude? So that's when I started digging a little bit deeper, and that was like about 5-10 years ago. But I had always been intrigued with the way the Rastafarians viewed life. So that's why I got a few books on Rastafarianism, man. I can say I rock with a lot of what they say in regards to the Rastafarians. Like I rock with a lot of what they say. Oh, Shane, man, you got to connect me to some of them. I need that connection. But yeah, man, y'all know I didn't. Here we go again. I done got the building. Be losing that track of time, man. Y'all know what time it is for me. I got to head to this gym, man. I got a few classes that I got to teach. So I got to run it. Y'all see, I still have my wristbands on and all that, man. So I'll be on the go. And before that, I'm going to answer Max Array question. I do feel like you can be your own therapist, but I feel like that takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of study. And I feel like with that too, I feel like you may have to have a mentor before you reach that level. So I feel like you can eventually work your way up to that. But I feel like you got to, like we got in our coach, you got enlighteners and things like that. I feel like it takes a lot of discipline, takes a lot of steps to get to that point where you could be your own therapist. But like I said, y'all, man, I gotta go tend to these clients, man. I gotta run them through the ground. Y'all know how I go, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in, tuning in with your boy. Y'all enjoy this Monday evening. Y'all enjoy the Tuesday. I may or may not go live, man. I might have to do a bunch of live videos back to back to back because I'm gonna be out of town, be in Mississippi next week. So I probably ain't gonna be able to go live a few days. So I may make up for that. So I may see y'all tomorrow, may not, but I'm gonna definitely see y'all Wednesday, man. Y'all be easy out here. Y'all take care of y'all health, man. Y'all do some fasting this week too, man. Y'all take a day out of this week, man, and y'all go on the 24-hour water fast, man. Make sure y'all do that. Y'all should be doing that anyway, but definitely make sure y'all do it this week, man. Get y'all a water fast in 24 hours. I'm out, y'all. Y'all be easy. Peace.